The F-35 comes to DCS World. The announcement at the end of the DCS 2025 and beyond video shocked the community and also raised a lot of questions. In this video, we will try to answer some of them based on the official info by ED in their recent FAQ and try to find out how will this 5th generation jet fighter be reproduced in DCS World. This video is sponsored by Next Level Racing. Get their products using our discount link. Hello virtual pilots, I'm Andre Celesti and you are watching a special edition video where we take the pulse of the flight sim community after the recent reveal from Eagle Dynamics in DCS World. We will publish multiple videos like this showcasing everything we know and all that is about to happen in 2025 and beyond. We will cover the dynamic campaign as we have more info about it thanks to ED themselves, the full Fidelity F-15C, the amazing scenes of Berlin and the Germany map, and much more. But the most fiery subject of the day is the surprising announcement of the F-35A in DCS World. We certainly didn't see this one coming, and on the day of the announcement, we were gathered with a lot of HEAP crew members, friends, followers, and Patreon supporters discussing what we just witnessed and what it means for DCS. A lot of questions about this one, and I am not surprised at all, as it does feel like an unrealistic offer for a platform that is focused on full fidelity modules. Our Sergeant Dev Rupesh called it, well, Flaming Cliffs 5 module, no? But it seems it's not, because ED also shared with everyone an official F-35A FAQ, and this may interest many of you. So let's dive in right away. The biggest question is why? From their answer, they want to have this in DCS World for both combat aviation enthusiasts and the casual virtual pilots, eager to experience this modern 5th generation jet in a virtual battlefield. A battlefield that only DCS can offer, and they know it. The PR machine works very good, it seems. And alright, let's hear more. They will first release the F-35A variant. For those of you who don't know, this is the standard takeoff and landing from an airfield version. Later, they may, and emphasis on the may, offer the F-35B vertical takeoff and landing or the VTOL version. And last but not the least, the F-35C, the aircraft carrier catapult version, but this has yet to be determined. Interesting. Personally, I say don't look too much into this. If we get the F-35A first, it will be a lot to handle in DCS and give them more time to see about the other variants. But we still have the elephant in the room. It's a 5th generation fighter jet, and that is lack of reference documentation, which we hear quite often when we ask for certain classified aircraft to be reproduced in DCS. I've been there and asked about it and got the same answer. It's classified. But it seems that there is a way, and that is all about the complexity of which they will choose to develop this module. To start with, let's check out with their announcement. When it comes to full fidelity, the F-15C, it was amazing news for all of us. It does have that full fidelity mark. But the F-35A has only the largely complete and accurate simulation in the wording and nothing about full fidelity. And I ask you, dear viewers, does it has to be full fidelity? If it's 90% right, would it be enough? For me, just makes sense. But they do say that using data from defense trade shows, public academic papers, open source data that accounts for radar angle, range, and external stores and open base, subcontractor system demos, computational fluid dynamic studies, and public feedback from real F-35 pilots. Sorry Ace, you and your War Thunder experience don't count. With all of that, they are able to reproduce this aircraft in a very accurate way for us. And yes, I know, India Fox Techo has all 3 variants in Microsoft Flight Sim, and I don't see Lockheed Martin taking them down. But it's DCS we are talking about here. And if you read the disclaimer, these modules don't require a license, but they may require permission. And maybe there is some behind closed doors, but I digress. So alright, we are getting the F-35. But when? Development starts this year and they plan to release it in 2026. Oh boy. Yes, Petrovich, that's right. It's subject to be changed. So we await more data in the following year and see how they manage to squeeze this one. Let's put it that way. For those of you taking 2026 as a hard date, I need to tell you out of compassion, don't. Just think about it like we do. It's definitely in the future. You're welcome. What capabilities we can expect with the F-35A? ED says we will get the complete weapon suit of a US F-35A in the 2015 timeframe. This includes the internal 25mm cannon, M9 Axis, M120, and the list goes on. All subject to change during development. I mean, yeah, why should I be surprised? As you can imagine, we can expect liveries from several countries and all the bells and whistles in Paintworks. But it's not DCS if it doesn't stir up some users that either misjudge the idea of a digital combat simulator or still think they bought into a $60 arcade flight sim game where we can fight to unlock new ranks, reach the top leaderboards on official competitive servers, and get to cry about balance, blue versus red, more armament, and less fidelity. It's a normal misunderstanding. In some way, they have a point too. For example, in DCS, when you join a PvP server, the owner of that server made, or not, some decisions on what the user experience will be. Fellow content creator Bogey Dope made an amazing video describing what type of multiplayer experience you can get in DCS. Shout out to him and his channel, exceptional work every time. But from where I am standing, and I still could be wrong, the DCS Core Sim is all about the experience you get when learning to fly your very own high-fidelity module, fighter, prop, or helicopter. Yes, they do want to tackle the arcade side with the FC package, but I consider that a side of practical easy mode before you switch on to the full fidelity side. Some of these modules may not have their own environment, and that's alright in my book. I can still fly by my own or in a co-op or even some PvP. It's all in the experience. With that knowledge, the idea that the F-35A, whenever it's coming out, will unbalance DCS, it's a bit far-fetched. And hear me out. Yes, certain server owners will choose to let the F-35 do havoc in your PvP experience, but that is on them. You can limit the experience to a co-op session, for example, where you can use the module together with your fellow virtual pilots whilst in multiplayer, and there is no issue with that. You can also limit the F-35A in one singular slot as a prize for PvP engagements, and there are plenty of options. So if you ask me, the idea of unbalance comes from users who really don't understand what DCS is. Oh, and if you think that the F-35 will unbalance DCS, wait until you see what's next in the future. With all of this being said, there are questions that are not answered yet. I want to hear more about the helmet, that super-priced piece of technology that is part of the experience in the F-35, about the multiple camera systems around the aircraft, and there is a lot to talk about. But yet again, one question is out there. How much will it cost? It seems that the cost has yet to be determined for the F-35A, but it will be in line with the pricing of other full-fidelity, complex, modern aircraft in DCS. And I want to remind everyone watching, the highest price of a DCS module has never passed the $85 mark. So yes, about the pricing, we will have to see a bit later. Now, this is just the first report on the F-35A in DCS world here at How I Play. Next week, we will cover everything else in detail, from maps, more modules, and the dynamic campaign, as this weekend we can expect a new Q&A from Wags. So, until then, thank you all for watching. Many thanks to our patrons for their continued support. Remember, if you're looking for flight sim gear, make sure to use our promo codes for all of our sponsored products. And subscribe to keep in touch with everything there is to know about the flight sim experience and DCS. As always, I am Andre Celesti, reminding you to fly safe, and I'll see you next time.